It's not like Trump's charity. You know, I'm not trying to get into politics. Biden, Trump, Xi Jinping, Putin, they're all the same, right? It's still, I'll pick the winners and you DM me, and then you're going to DM me your address. Because once your address is public, you can then just copy and paste. Like, I can go and copy and paste all those addresses in that comment into blockchain, and I can see every single transaction that was ever done. And then I can go to see who you transacted with and see every transaction that they've ever done.
Welcome to Amigospc. If you were looking for a podcast with high standards and an appreciation for the finer things in life, like water polo, ballet, equestrian riding, cricket, and trips to the countryside, you're in the wrong place. If you're looking for a podcast that celebrates drinking, random thoughts, wacky conspiracies, memes, crypto, cinema, and a lot of other things that don't really make any sense, then you're in the right place. This is Amigospc, and here are your hosts, Scott and Mark.
Hey, you. Yeah, you. You're hearing this for a reason. You haven't subscribed to the Amigos membership on Supercash yet. For as little as $5, you can get access to our feed with no ads and exclusive membership discounts and merch.
Jump up to our $30 tier and get everything plus direct access to us via our Discord channel, live Amigo AMAs, quarterly giveaways, and crypto merch. For $1 a day or less, you can support an Amigo out.
Amigos, back at it again. Today we have a NFT guru that I like to say, at least, Sentient Jay. He is also a at-home crypto miner, similar to us. Jay, if you could just give us some insight on yourself, tell us a little bit about you, how'd you get into crypto, things like that.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Basically, I kind of always I went to college in like 2010, and Bitcoin was like picking up, and everybody kind of knew what Bitcoin was, and people were kind of just using it to buy marijuana. So nobody saw any like long-term value in it, right? It was like everybody was like, oh yeah, I get it, why they get it, was good, but then people didn't realize, oh, this is public ledger, and then the government started arresting the people who were really being malevolent, right? Like things doing, there's people who are doing way worse things on the blockchain, and that it was good to kind of have like that cleansing, and for the community to have that realization that everything's public ledger, and that's the beautiful part about the blockchain, really, because yours, mine, our data is all like pretty much publicly accessible, but somebody who's got money, or like they're elite, or they're a politician, or they own a corporation, like they're so good at obfuscating what they do, it's just they play the game so much better because they have the money to play the game. But on the blockchain, it's like it's just all love and war, right? So there's a lot of beauty to it in my eyes. So I didn't really see it at first, and then I had some friends tip me off about Ethereum. In 2018, I was like, all right, now it seems like it's progressed, because before it was a transfer of value, and now it seems like with these, or at least at the time how it was explained to me with dApps, you're able to kind of build a network, which would eventually become the internet of blockchain. And I was like, oh, that's cool. But I'm just
You say dApps, that's a decentralized app?
Yeah, so
correct?
Decentralized apps. So one of the kids I grew up with, I'm not gonna name drop him off, but you can always tell he was gonna find his way or whatever, and he found his way on YouTube, and and I also love this guy because after he went out to LA, did his thing, and then he comes back and he buys a big house in the community he grew up in, and then he starts bringing in people to film stuff that's local. So I have nothing but good things to say. maybe I'll drop his name later. But
that's cool. So he basically he made it. He made it. And he kept all.
Yeah,
his
and he made
together.
it through like Halo games. Like he just really liked Halo games. I don't know if you've ever seen like
I love that game.
Yeah, the freak out dad videos or whatever. Like McJuggernauts or whatever. He does like the Thanksgiving family freak out. You're gonna have to tag his video in this because I name dropped him. But yeah, so like, you know, we have mutual friends, and you know, they are more into finance and stuff than I am. So I heard about it and I looked into it, and it seemed really interesting. I just wasn't in a position to do it. You know, I just finished school. I'm working, like, making nothing as a scientist, just trying to, like, get by, renting a place, and not a great area of the city, so, you know, it was something I wanted to get involved in. It just didn't seem like a thing. And then, you know, back in December, I caught a video on Reddit, a Red Panda mining video of him with like a mining rig and like a grow tent, and he had like a condo. I was like, what are these people, like his neighbors, looking out? Like they must see like through these windows. But I guess I ended up watching like another. It wasn't in the first video, but like in one of the subsequent videos, he explains he's got like 2-way or 1-way like tent or whatever. This guy's got like a grow tent with like mining rigs. You know, very innocuous, like what he's doing. But people like looking at his window are probably like, "What is this guy up to?" Like,
yeah.
So,
what drugs is he cooking, kind of thing?
Yeah, just and Red Panda is just like an amazing person. So it's like it's funny.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So and then I was like, I wanted to get involved, but you know, I've been living with like my college girlfriend, and we recently got engaged. So we were kind of like thinking long term. So I was saving up money to kind of like get a down payment on the house, but like I don't know if you look at the house and shit, like commodities are up and all that, and your dollar, I'm not gonna really get into it because I'll go nonstop, but like like you guys get it, you're in the sphere or whatever, but like so I was looking, how can I had some money I was looking, and I was like, back in December, I was too hesitant. I had too much, because like it's not just me. Like I was trying, like I said about the anonymity and stuff. It's like I have a fiance and stuff. So you know, and it was also a big jump. So if I did it, I was gonna do it right, and I was gonna like. So I did a bunch of research in December, and I just kind of chickened out around the holidays, and then things took off back in like May, and I was like, yo, you know, the old Chinese proverb, right? The best time to plant a tree for shade was 20 years ago. The second best time is now. So I just like, you know, I just pulled the trigger and I just jumped right in and built a 3080 rig, watching Red Panda's six GPU 3080 rig video. You're gonna have to tag that too. It's like a 3-hour long video. It's worth the watch though.
Yeah.
That's a pretty expensive card though. So what did you do to start acquiring them?
So
what was it?
So like luckily like my dad was an electrician and stuff, and like, you know, I had a pretty good understanding of what would be the like electrical, like, you know, it'd be very onerous to like buy a bunch of like older cards that aren't efficient and pay mad overhead and electricity, than to kind of like, you know, hope that that this lasts as long as I think it is, which is really forever. But even if it just lasts a couple of years, if I buy the more efficient cards, I can get more of them and then max out my 100 amp service I got downstairs in this rental I got. So yeah, I ended up getting the 3080s through this company, IT Creations. They're like a server company, and I got 4 of them, and I ended up paying like 20 to like 50 on average, including like shipping and stuff, to get them a pop. So
wow,
like it's definitely not cheap. So I mean, I put in like, you know, 20. So I had like 20, almost $3,000 or 30K like saved for a place, and just like, you know, they're making it so you can't even buy land right now. So I was looking for like a store of assets, and it's like, do I just like, you know, put this into cryptocurrency? And then I was like, after all the reading I did, I was like, I just want to like it seemed like there was so much more than just like store of asset and stuff. So I was like, I want to participate. So I wanted to invest in the infrastructure to participate long term. Like you guys get it, right? Like you could have just like went and put money in.
Yeah. Oh, we did both.
Well, that's initially what we did when we started.
And that's how you get your feet wet, right?
Yeah.
And that's our advantage over like the institutional, like you know, the basically legacy banking is they're just doing TA analysis on what's going on. They don't understand like Bitcoin, like the fundamentals of Bitcoin, the fundamentals of Ethereum, like Solidity, the language, which Binance smart contracts and Ethereum smart contracts and Polkadot smart contracts are all written on. You know what I mean? Like it's, you know, it's the next wave. It's already started, and it's like one of those things I was talking to Mark when we were, you know, BS on Twitter or whatever. It's like the computer, right? Like even if you didn't have a computer in your home, it eventually became so convenient they just stuck it in your pocket. And the perfect example is there's already games that are utilizing NFTs that are like in the Apple Store that people are playing and they don't even know they're utilizing NFTs, which make gas and then, you know, do all this volume on the Ethereum network, which drives up the price. So it's funny, like there's people who are, and like you see this Christie's auction with the NFTs that are coming up. They're doing like a Bored Ape, like they're going to do this auction. They're going to then take cash or whatever. There's going to be a fiat transfer, and then that has to be turned to ETH, and then that has to be processed on the Ethereum network, and then transferred to a wallet.
Yeah,
like it's it's happening. You know, just be like old money's dead. It's just happening because it's more efficient. Like women lie, men lie, numbers don't lie, and I don't know. There's something like really beautiful to like the transparency of blockchain that I kind of got wrapped up in because like, especially as someone who's 30, like most of my life has been really recorded, like to a T. And like you're like, oh, whatever. There's so much data out there. We'll never be able to like access stuff. But then you start knowing, like, or you learn that there's like, you know, they have data on your data, right? They have metadata on your metadata, and you can really, with not much, pull something out of nothing. And I laugh about that Pineapple Express when, like, I forget who smashes it and who throws it in the woods, and he's like, "What? You're supposed to smash it!" And then they're like, oh, like they're like think they're geniuses. They're like, one guy smashed and the other guy threw it as like a decoy or whatever. Like the cops are after him. I just feel like
it was gonna be triangulated. Whatever.
Yeah. He's like barracudas. Yeah, he's like, you really freak me out when you say things like that.
And you said in May is when you started. Was it May of this year or May of last year? When
May
did
of
you
this
start?
year. So I'm
May
very
of this year,
new.
so you're very new. Okay.
But I had like money
we're
saved up for like a house, and it's just like you can't even get a house for.
Well,
it's like unless you buy a house and you're gonna build like really do a lot of renovation on it. If you buy a house, it's really only gonna lose value. You're buying it at the top of the market. And like, you know, I'm lucky because my family is kind of, you know, they like my aunt, like she's been in the market or whatever before. So I kind of, you know, just by being around it, kind of know what's up. But a lot of people don't know this shit, and they took out big ass like loans on basically houses at the top of the market because the mortgage rate was low. You know, I mean, that's how they sold the houses at the top of the market is they dropped the mortgage rate, the interest rate. So it's like, you know, you start, I don't know, man, you start waking up.
Yeah, I mean, the market's going to be, you know, it's probably going to start tapering down, or it's going to plateau, or it's probably going to start to go down.
And then you also have fall, right? And like, the one thing that is crazy, I was actually talking to my dad about this, is like, you know, it's like, you have all these holidays and stuff, and it's like, you think it's like, oh, like they're around like the winter and stuff, and it's like, oh, to like celebrate like you lived during the winter, because like these holidays were back, you know, like I don't know when Christmas started, but like many people died during the winter compared to now. But in reality, you know, maybe there's something more. Maybe it's like, oh, during the holidays people buy more, so people who are like merchants knew during this time of year we all charge more money. And it's like OPEC, right? OPEC is, you know, they're all in unison about how much, like, they're stacked to flow on fucking, sorry, can I curse on this? I may curse a few times. You may have to beat me. I'm a sentient NFT, but I'm unfiltered. But Yeah, but like, you know, they're stacked to flow on gold and stuff. Like, they know how much gold relatively there is in an area, and they mine it at a rate in which is not going to deplete the value. So, you know, it's kind of like the old prospector thing. It's like whoever gets to the space gets to dictate the rules, and you know.
Yeah, but that's the thing with cryptocurrency is it's not that way. It possibly could happen with a 51% attack, but especially on mineable crypto. But it's the likelihood of that can't happen.
Relatively new. Like what the last 51 attack was, like the DAO attack on Ethereum that caused the split, right, in 2018.
Yep, from Classic to the Ethereum.
But like, how much bigger are the networks today? Like, how much more organized would you have to be? And like, also, like, I kind of got lucky because it's still happening. The Poly, the new chain that just opened up, not Matic, but like some new Poly, that 620 million. Yeah, but
I think
making a new
chain
and you're doing parachains, like side chains. Like I'm not. Like I said, I'm just in March or May or whatever. I'm not like a super smart guy, but if you're doing chains, you're gonna have to understand that there's people with more volume than you. So it's basically like a liquidity pool, right? Yeah. And if you don't have the overhead, somebody's gonna basically bring in their wave and, you know, knock your boat right out the fucking ocean. So, you know, I feel like they knew, like, right. These people, like, not to knock Matic because, like, I interact with the network and the gas fees are brutal, but
that's the thing. It wasn't Matic. It's a spin-off of what they called. They're trying to play off the Polygon shit.
So it actually wasn't Polygon or Matic. It was a different. All right. No. So let me qualify because I don't want to. Because I actually use Matic and I use Rapid, so like, yeah, let me qualify there. So it's like a fork or whatever.
We just started putting our feet, or I would say even just maybe a toenail, into the Matic stuff. We've mined a little bit of it via an unminable platform. And then, well,
it's not like
yes
a liquidity.
And no. So liquidity mine, yes, you can do that, but mining it through a graphics card, no, you can't. But there are platforms that help facilitate that, and essentially all you're doing is just mining
and
it.
Transfers it to
BTC.
So they have their own
they just pay you out, you know, like Nice Hash, or the one we use is.
Yeah, I actually think you hooked me up with the EFTA pool, right? Because I actually was using what's the other one that's real big? Not EFTA pool, Poolant. And like, I went to change my wallet address to like, because at first I was like, you know, let me do it here, and I was like, all right, let me do it to like my hard wallet if I'm gonna do it. Like, let's just like not even play these games or whatever, because I was just gonna test it out at first. And it was like, oh, your like payouts frozen for like 48 hours. I was like, nope, done. Like, you could keep the like 2 Doge or whatever I mined on it, and then I think I was just hitting people up, and you were like F the pool, and I had like I had no problems. So.
Yeah, we like that one. We like using that one.
So good looks.
Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot. Yeah, the way that they pay, and some people don't like it. Like, they stick with, you know, just maybe like LTC pool and things like that. But we are huge fans of Doge. One of the reasons we are into crypto is
I like Doge too.
We felt that we needed to merge mining when we started pursuing the mineable aspect of it. So F2 pool just made sense. It's the closest pool to myself and Scott somehow, and it's just.
So you guys like
it just made sense.
Like, did you guys like?
No, we were.
We
broke up.
That's how my boy now.
we realized we liked girls, and then, you know, we took on that.
We were like, you know what, this just isn't working.
Yeah.
It's too fuzzy.
The beards kept connecting. It was just.
Sometimes that makes it better. The beard connection.
Could be.
We could have a pretty intimate beard connection.
I know, all three of us. Look at that.
Yeah, dude. So, we should meet up and touch beards one day. I don't know if you want
one
to
day. Let's put it on the calendar.
You got to pay
that's
for
extra
that.
content.
That's kind of extra. No, we've just been friends for I would say almost 2 decades at this point.
We started working at a place together.
We started working together forever.
So you guys met through like work or whatever, and just like kept in touch. Yeah, that's dope.
Yep.
Like that's how like me and my buddy like flash mining, like we just like met through like we both worked down by the beach or whatever, and we just always stayed in touch. And yeah, like he's like in a whole different state and stuff, but like he's still my bro. We talk every day and stuff. It's like, yeah.
I mean, that's exactly how our situation has become, because Scott just recently moved.
Yeah, we were both in Arizona, and then I left in April.
Yeah, he wants me to go like all the way up to Michigan to help him. He got all the components for a rig and stuff, and he's just like, he built the computer, and he's a little tentative about the rig because, I mean, I sent him the Red Panda video that's like 3 hours, and I guess like, you know, it is intimidating. Like I watched it twice before. Like I have a like stationary bike, so I use like, and I'm in school, so I've watched like lectures on a stationary bike. To procrastinate, I've watched crypto mining videos, and yeah, I just ate through like all Red Panda stuff, and like chamber mining does like a shorter version one that's like a good like introduction, so it's like, good to like watch that to like see. So I sent him that. I was like, watch this, kind of figure out what's going on, like holistically. And then watch Red Panda do it and let him get in the nitty gritty and listen to people compliment his hands. I just like I love Red Panda. He's just like I think he really is like embodies what the crypto community is about. Like, and what they did for like Savage mining, just like the whole crypto community. I'm just like, you know, seeing that type of stuff is like, you know, even when things start going down, you know, I just trusted to get more cards. Like I was just buying cards this whole time. You know what I mean?
That's
like I got in at the top really, and it's just been I've been buying cards the whole way down, and I just really have been trusting the old heads like Unk, who is who I like I jokingly call Unk to my buddy Flash or whatever, but Bits be tripping just because he's like the old. Yeah, he's like the old head guy, so it's like all that like the new rappers call like Snoop Unk. So it's like I feel like he's like the Unk, you know, he's the uncle of all the crypto miners. And he's like, and when you watch his videos, man, he's so technical. And, like, I just love that. I love all the number stuff. I really do. So yeah, like I mean, I would have to say like, you know, Bits be tripping. Obviously, like if you're trying to get like some technical analysis, is number one. Yep. I just love Red Panda's videos. I can watch them all the time, but he's a little bit too like he's got way too much giga hash compared to like, you know, some square like me or whatever.
Starting up people, yeah.
He's definitely not. I mean, he's an at-home miner.
Yeah, I mean, he's like residential, but I actually really like not your normal miner. I guess he like falls into like commercial, not industrial. And I guess Bisbee Trippin would be like industrial, but not your normal miner. He's just like a chill. Like it's funny because he says not your normal miner because he seems just like a chill dude. Like I don't know. Like I follow him on Twitter. Yeah. Just seems like a dude I like grab a drink with or whatever. And I like his content.
We're talking about these miners that have established themselves, right? And you just starting and getting in, you're mining ETH from what it sounds like.
I'm exclusively mining ETH because that's it. Like I'd like to do my due diligence and like I really like Raven, so let me go full disclosure. Like and like I don't know a lot about the like I actually just finished like summer courses, so I actually do want to start looking into the actual coding aspect of Solidity. But I understand like GitHub and stuff. Like I can understand when projects are being worked on and what is being and what generally is being done. I don't know like the specifics, but I understand like those people at Raven, those guys work, man. They are at it. They are always doing stuff. And then like when you go to Ergo, it's like, what is going on? And like I don't know, Ergo just bugged me out.
Yeah, well, all this kind of connects to what I'm about to ask here. So with mining ETH, you started to mine ETH. You now mentioned Raven and Ergo, which are coins that seem to be popping off because there is a what the hell is it? Like a canary in the room. There's this thing that's going to happen with Ethereum that is either going to happen soon or it's going to happen at some time in the future.
I don't know. I got crazy.
Did you have a plan? Did you have a plan? Even if you want to be just general about what your end goal is or like the direction you're going, did you have some type of like, okay, I'm going to do this as this all kind of unfolds, or is it Ethereum all the way until it's done and then
Yeah,
I'll
so
figure it
like
out.
I said, it's not just me. Like I have a fiance, so this has been like surgical.
Yeah.
And I just like trusted the process, and I trusted the old heads and what they say and stuff. And like, you know, sometimes like it's like, you know, a thumb in a butt at the orgy. Like that's the moment, right? Do I pull away or I like push back into it? And your boy pushed back into it, and I feel like I've done so. I've learned so much. I feel like I'm like learning so much. And I'm meeting great people who all have like really good intentions. Like, and like you see things like, yeah, I'm just like blown away. Like they really just set up rigs for Savage Mining's family after he passed away. And it was just like, you know, the community is so like strong and united. And I really feel like there's like a lot of small guys like me that don't know their place. And I'll be honest, I don't really know my place, but like I kind of feel like whatever, you know, I tweet funny stuff and people think I'm like mildly entertaining or whatever. So maybe I can just like kind of promote these guys that have taught me so much. And maybe that's just my place for crypto mining.
Well, we're like the newer degenerates.
But I want to let people know, like, we're still out here, like,
Twitter.
the residential miners, like, we're still, trying to get cards and stuff, and, like, you know,
No, it is not it's not
about the
commercialized
money,
whatsoever.
really. Like, you know, it's like, obviously, we're all trying, like, ROI, but it's like, once you start interacting with Web3 and stuff, it's like, there is so much more, like, with dApps and smart chains and things being, like, the decentralization, like, let me just, like, touch upon two things, like, so when I was in college, one of my buddies was like, he's a sneakerhead. And I don't know if even Nike does it anymore, but you used to be able to like make your own Nike shoe on their website and buy it. So he like, you know, he made a couple and then he, you know, one of them they ended up like selling, and he was like, like, why am I getting, they didn't even contact him or anything. And like, you know, his dad's like, it's like a Big Ten school, right? So like his dad kind of has money and shit. So they got lawyers and stuff, and like it's basically like on the website, right? Like, so you can't do nothing. Like you go consult your attorney. They look into it and they're like, yeah, well, on the Nike website it says any designs on this website is Nike's property. And
wow.
Yeah, I mean, you know, and like the guy was really just like, yeah, let me get like a free pair of shoes. You know what I mean? And Nike wasn't even like adding them back. So he told his pops, and his pops was like, yeah, we could probably do something about this. And, you know, they saw counsel, and the counsel was just like, nah, man, it's like right there on the website. And then, like maybe like 3 or 4 years ago, I have a couple buddies who are pretty good at video games, but like, let's be honest, only like the top like 0.1% of gamers are actually making any money gaming. And you know, he had a pretty dope Fortnite like build up, like 360 snipe like back in the day, and like Fortnite like tweet like this was on Instagram or whatever. It had like 1 million views and all this stuff, and like, you know, he kind of like, you know, DM'd them, kind of like the same thing, like yo, just let me get like a season pass, that's my clip or whatever. And they like sent him like a legal like thing, like anything that is made on like the Fortnite thing. I don't know if it's changed now. I don't want to like, you know, slander Fortnite because I'm like way out of that space or anything. But it's like, you know, you see this stuff and it's like, you know, what if you could have made that clip an NFT? You know what I mean? You like once that's why I feel like Ethereum, it's like, I don't think they knew that smart contracts were going to blow up this fast. It's like, because everybody's just seeing all these use cases. So the network, and like the use cases are, it's like it's like fractorials, right? So you're building JPEGs that then interact with JPEGs, and they make like JPEGs that then, you know, have points and stuff. So it becomes like, you know, it's exponential. And I don't think they, you know, at first it was supposed to be sharding then merge, right? Like, and then they changed it pretty recently, because I haven't been in it too long, and I remember when they changed the order. And I think it's going to just have to go back to, you're going to have to do sharding, you have to break blocks up, and especially because you implemented, and I think like the problem is they like, you know, you go on a protocol, right? And then it took a long time for 1559 to be implemented. And by the time it was implemented, like this, like crypto is like, I mean, like you fall asleep, you wake up, it's a whole different game. You know what I mean?
It's time traveling. Can you go into a little bit more depth though? Because I've said this, we've had a little conversations back and forth on social media, and like we were talking yesterday.
I didn't know you guys had a podcast. You guys are just funny dudes on Twitter. So I just was like, and then I DM'd you. I was like, wait, you guys got a podcast? I was like, yeah, you gotta like let me get on that. But yeah, you guys are just funny as hell on Twitter. So
That's awesome. That's all Mark.
So
I don't believe
Scott
in it.
doesn't do social media, but
yo,
we're not well, at least me, I'm not savvy enough into the NFT thing, and my perception of them is not friendly when it comes to the NFTs, and you walk me through, NFTing like one of our thumbnails, things like that, but I still am not entirely sold on how this kind of unfolds. So with NFTs, you can make an image, you can make a GIF, you can make it something to where you could sell it for ETH. It looks like Binance now is also doing the NFT space and things like that.
Trying to do what they're called assets, but I don't think I've reached out to a couple people and I don't think it's mainnet accessible yet. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong in comments and stuff. I would like that information.
No, it's not,
because for myself.
By the time this actually drops, I'm sure at some point it's going to be somebody will say something, be like, "Well, you guys are 4 years.
What are you guys doing? Don't you even pay attention?" It's like, "Oh man, I'm sorry, I got off Twitter for 2 seconds. Now I'm in the loop, all right?"
Yeah. So, my perception of it is, the NFT basically is a meme. I've made a meme. And I'm trying to sell it on the market as I am a art dealer, basically. You had made mention when we were on the phone yesterday about this needs to have some type of use case, but what I'm seeing out there doesn't necessarily have use cases. I literally saw one this morning. It went for $700,000 worth of Ethereum, and it was a rainbow squiggly line. So where does the use case start with some of these, and then what's driving the actual force in making
and the
some
value?
Type of
Yeah,
revenue?
where's the value?
I'm not saying that
coming
everybody
from?
needs to make revenue on this, but where's the value coming from?
I mean, I'll just be candid. I got into NFTs. You guys probably watched me OD on NFTs over the past 8 days, and I just like I said, I've been mining Ethereum, and then NFTs came out, and I've seen it all over Twitter, and I'm like, all right, well, let me see, and then you see Bored Ape sells for, or a CryptoPump sells for $1 million, $7.7 million, right away, science.
Well,
is my
the
trade.
record, the record right now is a thing called Every Days, which is the first 5,000 days, and it sold for 69 million.
And what is that? First 5,000?
It's apparently it's a art thing. I've done some dude drew 5,000 little pieces of art in one
that's
NFT.
a full, but that's 5,000. So you're buying a full collection.
I don't know if it's seeing again. I don't know how that is. I mean, I don't know if it's one thing or if it's 5,000 individual ones, but.
Yeah, so there's individual CryptoPunks and stuff that go for $7.7 million USD, and the first thing I see when I see this is I'm like, money laundering. That's the first thing you think, right? You're like, what is going on here? It's you see people that buy property in middle of nowhere Montana, and they build these big places, and then they tear them down and build the same place again. It's what's going on there? So I actually went in very skeptical, but so I just got a MetaMask. I watched Coin Guy, his YouTube thing for making a MetaMask. Got the link. Then I started just interacting with OpenSea, and I was supposed to be writing a paper, and I just had I had my ADD going 100%, and I'm I found this new space. I'm it was really interesting because I'm what, like you said, what gives these things value? So I basically just how I first got my first NFT is I was supposed to be writing a paper, and I had, if you go to OpenSea, you can go to activity and just watch what's going. It's by each transaction that goes, it just you can watch it go. And at first I was able to like do stuff, and then I was like, what is going on here? Because I started like seeing like people buy, like I started seeing buying, like I could, this was 8 days ago, but it's completely like blown up since then. But 8 days ago, like the volume in some of these like things were so small, you could see the changes just by watching the activity thing. So I was.
Well, what I have really noticed, because still, we just made the Amigos NFT.
Yo, I got this on the first one. I'm gonna send you my wallet address. I'll pay for the gas.
But you're more than welcome. Once we figure that out, we'll get it over.
Yeah. We could go through like a tutorial video as like a side video that's not part of the podcast or whatever, and you guys can post it. And it's all your stuff. Like, I just want people to know about this stuff and interact, because like I want more people involved. Because from what I found, I went in super skeptic, and it's like, what I found is the complete opposite. It's like a bunch of people that are like donating money to like charities and shit. Like you see like Crypto Titties, you're gonna have to drop their link on Twitter. Like they, like the first day she fucking donated like $3,000. You know what I mean? It's not like, so, and this is all on the, it's not like Trump's charity. I'm not trying to get into politics. Biden, Trump, Xi Jinping, Putin, they're all the same, right? It's still, it's
anybody's charity, any big organization.
Yeah, like they're all taking
charity,
their cut and stuff. Like this is in.
United
like
way,
and like UNICEF. What happened to UNICEF? Like they used to be like doing good work, and then like I guess
you don't hear about them no more.
Yeah, they must have been doing something, right? But this is all on smart contracts on the public ledger, and like I showed Homeboy blockchain, like. Don't drop your ETH address or anything on these Twitter things. That should be suspicious. Like, nothing in life is for free. Yeah, nothing in life is for free. Like, if somebody's trying to help people out, they're gonna be like, yo, retweet, whatever, and then I'm gonna pick winners, and then I'll pick the winners, and you DM me, and then you're gonna DM me your address, because once your address is public, you can then just copy and paste. Like I can go and copy and paste all those addresses in that comment into blockchain, and I can see every single transaction that was ever done. And then I can go to see who you transacted with and see every transaction that they've ever done. I can also see, how much is in each wallet. And, once you first see this stuff, you're like, damn, like this is like weird. But then you're like, wait, this is actually kind of beautiful. Because it's already going on, right? The only people who are obfuscated and protected are the corporations and the elite. Like, they already know, they know how much I owe in taxes. Like, the second you use NiceHash, don't get it twisted, the government knows you're mining crypto. Like, there's a reason why crypto miners, use, LOL miner and stuff. Because NiceHash, the second you do that, and, don't pair, never log into, I use MetaMask through Brave browser or whatever, but never log in your email and use MetaMask, because then you're pairing your email with your MetaMask address, and then if Google's your email, I kind of went crazy, and I went through this deep dive on my computer for malware, because I'm doing all this crypto mining, I got VPN, I'm doing I'm looking into all this coding stuff, and then I go into this deep dive on malware, and then I figure out what it actually was, and it's it's basically Google Chrome and stuff. When you download that, they collect data, and albeit it's part of their source code or whatever, if you get it technically falls under malware. So if you are looking for malware, you will start picking up Google and there's videos on it and stuff, but when you type in a search, that information is then put through a sieve of 4 different websites or whatever that then take your metadata and then target your ads, and then it goes to Google search, and then you get the compiled Google search.
Hold on. I need to get my hat.
For real. But yeah, we know. That's how your phone knows,
right?
That's how your phone knows. We're just talking. Let's say we're talking about NFTs right now. If I bring up my phone right now and go into
everybody knows about it.
There's going to be an NFT ad for something.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? Everybody's aware of it, but I think everybody's oh, there's so much data out there. There's no way they're going to be able to pinpoint it's me or whatever. But you don't understand. There's so much data out there.
Every person has their own profile.
Yeah,
everyone has their own profile of shit.
Yeah,
dude. I'm 30 years old, 20 years old. Since the Patriot Act, all my stuff has, like, my screens have been recorded, all my audio, know what I mean? Like, why do you think there's big data servers? Like, I kind of like Chia, but I don't really know the use case yet. But I also kind of feel like it's to hide, like, this inflation of hard drives because governments are storing information on people. So get on your tinfoil hat.
Don't talk shit about shit. Yeah, don't talk about.
I'm not Chia. I still find Chia. Like, I'm like waiting for them to, and I use pool space, but I'm just like, is it new technology? Like, and I have a Helium, and like I see the use case. I'm just waiting for the dApps to be developed, and I don't know if like Helium uses, like, you can buy like the thing to build the hardware, but like what coding do they use? It's on like a Raspberry Pi, but I don't know. I'm still very new.
Well. And they've recently, not just recently, this happened I think last year, is they configured their coding to where you can't even create a custom.
Helium, right?
They gotta unlock manufacturers they gotta unlock manufacturers. You can't even, because you used to, when it first came out, you used to just be able to get a Pi Raspberry and hook a fucking antenna up to it, and then you're mining
and
Helium.
I had a buddy who was making little Pi Raspberry things. I'm like, yeah, dude, like, you're like, yeah, you're the man and stuff. It's just like, I just like, I didn't see it at the time, but eventually they're like, there's a bunch of smart people out there who can do this on their own. So what they do is they make it harder, but just like the light hash rate stuff, like, we overcome, man. That's why, like, I'm just like, I see like everybody bickering about like dumb shit on Twitter, but like the cryptocurrency community, they're afraid of us. Like, come on.
Not in the Scott's not in the know when it comes to the light hash rates. One of the miners, it's not LOL miner, it's MD miner.
Chump Change dropped the video. I don't want to misspeak.
Yeah. Chump Change, Brandon Coin, and I want to say one other.
Yeah, he did that like laptop mining thing, and like it's funny because I'm watching it. When he first started, I'm like, that ain't gonna work. And he's like, dude, it's like a couple days later, I'm like, yeah, this guy's killing it. I'm like, this guy, I don't know. That was just good content. That was just good content. Like, even if it didn't work, that was just gonna be good content because he had me hooked. It was like, because it was working when he set it up. I was like, all right. I was like, I gotta watch.
No. But what I was getting at, and you made mention here, is one of the miners that you can mine cryptocurrency Ethereum, essentially, they've unlocked these light hash rate GPUs, the 3080 Ti, the 3080, the 3060 Ti, things like that, to where you can get 70% of the actual hash rate out of the GPU for Ethereum mining. Now, what I found out with these GPUs, especially with the 3060 that we have, NVIDIA, for some reason, I know you had said something yesterday that contradicted this a little bit, but from my experience, our experience currently,
my bad.
NVIDIA is mining Ravencoin more efficiently than
hilarious.
Yeah, I mean, I see what you're saying. So you're talking about the Capal algorithm compared to eTash.
Yeah. So, I couldn't stop laughing because
I'm a sentient NFT, and it's hard being a person, and I'm just here trying to like promote, good people that, it's hard being a good person is all I gotta say.
Right,
and,
right there.
Sometimes you just gotta like trust people and like trust your instincts, and like, I don't know, when I saw you guys, I was like, I know, and you guys were like hilarious, so I was like, and it's funny because we were just interacting on Twitter, and then I found you had a podcast. I was like, yo, and then my buddy Mikey checked out your stuff, and I was like, yeah, all right. I was like, I'm definitely doing this. Like, I definitely, like, I was like looking, like, I hit you up earlier today. I was looking forward to interacting with you guys. But like, we're all just people trying to navigate this space. But I'm sorry for interrupting about the light half rate stuff.
Well, so what I was saying was, I've experienced that the NVIDIA cards are very efficient at mining Ravencoin. Like, it is crazy with what's kind of going on.
I know, he did. But what he said there beforehand.
Sorry, I think I'm having a little connectivity issues.
Yeah, that was funny. Got a little cloudy in there.
But I can clarify about the light hash rate stuff. So I'm full disclosure. Never do your own research. I'm a NFT, right? Like, don't listen to anybody. Particularly, don't listen to some picture on the internet. So, and actually, no, don't listen to girl in a bikini DMing you on Twitter, because that is a dude.
Did you get wrapped up in that one time? Tell us more about that. How'd that get you?
I got a DM.
Well, I'll just mention about let me knock out the Kapow stuff real quick. From what I'm understanding is that Ethereum is more of a bits be tripping. Please help me if I butcher this. I don't want to do the community wrong, but so Ethash is more of a memory, DRAM based algorithm. Therefore, the NVIDIA cards, they're marketed as being able to do a bunch of things, right? Like, you get the 3060, it's a 12 gig, right? So, that's this isn't for, just doing graphical processing. This is for doing, a couple things at once and being able to have, continuity and not have issues. So that's the Ethash algorithm, and Kapow, from what I understand, is more graphical processing, and that's why it generates more heat. But depending on what kind of card you have, some cards are tiered towards graphical processing in comparison to memory processing. From my understanding, please community correct me if I'm wrong, the newer AMD cards are geared to graphical processing, so they should be better for Kapow. You should get more Kapow. The efficiency you might be paying more in electricity. I haven't looked at it like that, but you should be able to garner more Kapow with a GPU intensive card. And from my understanding, that's the AMD card. I have a Vega 56, and that thing's as good graphical processing. Well, within 10% of a 3060. It's 4 years different. But the memory is totally different. Yeah. That Vega does one thing, you know what I mean? So sorry, I cut you off. What were you gonna say?
Oh, from my own experience, or our experience with our farm, I've noticed that Ethereum still is more profitable wise and more efficient with all of our AMD cards. But then again,
it's just
our AMD cards we have a lot of 5600.
Yeah, so dApps are built off of Solidity, but I don't know if all the blockchains they're under a different consensus algorithm. So the algorithms that are written for consensus, that's what dictates, that's the power of Ethash. And it's all about the consensus mechanism. And right now, ETH is going to be more profitable just because ETH is super profitable, because there's tons of use case. People are on the network. After 1559, you're getting a ton of ETH burned a day, so you're adding scarcity.
Well, you know what's
funny is when you were talking about my strategy, this was surgical. I had a plan. I'm still a little behind. It was to hit a gig, so I got established. I have 1.2 gigs on the script algorithm, so I'm right where I want to be. I got that off a really good price, MSRP or less. I had to deal with shipping and all that, but ordering from China and stuff, and the L3++ I got up was basically refurbished, and it's it was somebody took it off a shelf and threw it in some guy's backpack. You know what I mean? But it was still, you get your 1070, right? You just take it on the chin. You're this guy knew what he's doing. He knew I was going to take it on the chin because I'm still going to make money off this. So I got those ASIC miners basically making my basement a sauna. So, and then
we're going to be having a video come out of a major purchase that we did with China and the L3s.
So did you get the L3++ or just the L3?
No, we just did the L3 pluses, but
same thing we use.
Exactly how you explained
it.
But
were you getting for $1,500 or what?
We got 3 of them.
No.
All right, yeah, because I paid $900 for an L3++, and I was it gave me gray hairs. I'm an NFT, but you guys can vouch. It gave me, literally, they sent me, because it's Top Ship, and then they send you a shipping track, and then I hit the track thing, it works one day, and then I go to check again, it's this track number doesn't work. And I hit up the homeboys and they're like, I don't hear nothing for a couple days. I'm like, yo, what's up? I hit them up again. They're like, oh yeah, your shipping is through like a shipping thing, so now it has a different thing. They're like, we'll send
So
like
shady.
I was like, all right, well, like I'm gonna need a confirmation number or something. So like that was like their answer. They're like, your shipping thing goes to one thing, and then you get a new shipping address. I was like, well, what's the tracking stuff? What's up? So it took like 20 days for me to get this thing, and the whole time I was like biting my nails. And even when I got it, like I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna get a box of rocks. Like, you know, you never know. Like, so I videotape myself opening it. It's just like I got through new egg, but you don't really have any protection. Yeah, like I got up like kid on Chris was like, is it rocks in here? Like, it's just like a bunch of like dirty henty like fucking porn or something. I'm like, goddamn Chinese got me. Like, no, but it's like, you know, they basically, I mean, they're trying to get stuff out of there and they can't, right? Because like the People's Republic of China and like the Chinese are two different entities, right? And like the Chinese are like, even the Chinese corporations are trying to like move their Bitcoin stuff out, and they're having issues now. So that's why I was like really nervous, because like these guys are probably like being forthright and trying to sell this stuff, and they know that they're trying to sell it cheap because they're trying to get rid of it fast. Because at any time China could just be like, boom, no more shipping on this stuff. You know what I mean? And like anything that you're stuck, you just hold stuff on hardware you can't use. You know what I mean? And I saw a lot of Chinese companies that are putting their stuff in storage and things like that, thinking that, you know, regulations would be lifted. And I don't know, I looked into it, and basically it seems like every year China like flexes that we're gonna do something unless you need us behind a closed door and like square up, because we know you're making money and we want our cut. And like up until last year,
that's something we
and like up until last year, every year they met, you know, they squared up or whatever. And last year they're like, nah, like, you know, we're done with this shit. So, and then China did the crackdown, and then I think China thought it would shut down Bitcoin. I don't think that they, you know what I mean? Because they did put some, you know, organized effort into it. Obviously, it didn't go, and like Bitmain is still a company, right? So they could have like seized the company, but like there was very like, right, even like just the Morgan. Maryland, like the tax, like in U.S., like the right to taxes, the right to destroy. Like, imagine just being able to like completely manipulate a market like that. Like, they just assumed that would sink it. And you know, Bitcoin is math.
Well, they're also trying to compete. They're also trying to compete because they're launching their own.
I don't even think it's that, because like that's like Tether.
There's a lot of
so that's like a stable coin. So basically, like China is trying to release a government issued stablecoin. Like, it's kind of like Circle is a company, it's a corporation that is releasing USDC on the Ethereum network, which is a stablecoin, and then they have money in bank somewhere that tethers, and like from what I saw, it's like, you know, 70% or something, but it's better than the US bank, right? But you know, Tether only had like 5%, and that's why people jump from Tether, because Tether, they don't have cash withholding. So it's like, you know, we're falling into the same system that we're trying to get out of. So people, that's also why I like, you know, cryptocurrency is like, the market decides, like, you know, people are going to wise up and be like, no, this is not the way, and they're going to move, and then things, you know, eventually just get so efficient it's in your pocket, right? So yeah, I don't know, I'm still very new to this space, but I'm just trying to learn as much as I can and like contribute where I can.
Yeah,
and, like,
that's what you can do. Definitely knowledge is
I
power.
got shit, but I feel like, you know, it's more than that. Like, you know, it's not about like money and stuff, because once you start looking at like the dApps and stuff, there's like so much to it, because like there's people that are unbanked, you know. Also, like, I went through college, like I went to a Big Ten school, like I'm getting my master's in an Ivy League university, like school, you know what I mean? Like class to class, like I'll tell you straight up, so it's like, it'd be nice to have a dApp that maybe paired to an NFT that linked to your wallet, that you could build attributes from, you know, as you watched and took courses as you grew up, you know. So like, I'm getting to the point where like it's hot every day, and like, you know, I'm trying to have kids, and it's like, I'm trying to think like, you know, 18 years from now, what kind of world is my kids going to live in? And it's been hard. It really has been hard, like professionally, personally, like, you know. And like for the longest time, I felt like I couldn't even talk to my fiance. I felt like I'm working like so hard to make something for us, and like I'm just in a bad mood all the time, and I felt like I couldn't even explain. And it's like once I got into NFTs, I kind of had like this ego death, and I'm like, you know, why couldn't I talk to my fiance? Because I feel like I'm supposed to be like the man of the house. Like, how archaic is that? But there is that ancestral whatever bullshit that the media pushes or whatever. Like, I think when Elon Musk says like, you know, we live in a simulation, it's cheek and tongue, right? He doesn't mean like we're in a computer program. It's like the world around us is manufactured in a way in which they want to conform us to a way that we're useful. We have utility, and I think you know, I'm done, dude. I'm here for my kids. Like, I don't care if I don't make a damn cent, but if I can like pave the way for the next
always
generation, that's like.
Yeah, there's always that end goal, which ours is financial freedom. We it's not that we want to be rich, but we want the freedom to do whatever the fuck we want.
When you look at the crypto community, it's like once people start getting, and like the majority of people, once they get into a space where like they do find financial freedom, then they go out and try to help people. Like, you know, they start making YouTube videos like, this is what I did wrong, this is what I did right. And I feel like it's like, you know, there's no sense of community anymore. I feel like I feel like, I mean, do you feel like you can go knock on your neighbor's door and be like, yo, what's up? Like, right? There's no sense of community anymore.
But that's different. I don't want to knock on my neighbor's door. I want nothing to do with my neighbors.
You know, you could just meet people who had like similar goals online, and then you guys could then, you know, this is global. This isn't like, you know, any, like, that's also another thing I like about NFTs. It's not about like the skin color or what, you know, it's not the collection you came from, it's the content of your material. And I love that shit. Like, seriously, like, because it's hard, because you know, they make social media the way it is. Like, the social media is manufactured. Twitter's is a lot of bots, man. I'm always atting you when I get those bot tags. I'm like, how do I stop this? Like, because you just can't stop it. Because, like, they just go and they search people's name who follow Ethereum, and then they blast them with things that are related to Ethereum. And it's a bot. It's up for 24 hours. It gets shut down, and by the time it's shut down, there's 10 more. So that's why, you know, there should be wallet addresses. Like,
oh, that's why we had the thing with Slim Jim.
Yeah, Slim Jim. If you don't start taking Dogecoin, you're sad. You're sad old man.
Well,
sad weak man.
We typically try to run. We typically try to run for like. We typically try to run for like an hour. Like I was telling you the other day, we do have questions that we ask at the end of the show. One, I have a question geared since we are on the topic of NFTs and things like that. I do want to know which NFT is one of your favorites, and which crypto titties is it?
I actually really like crypto titties, but unfortunately I don't have any crypto titties. But I will definitely, if I get crypto titties, you're gonna have to pry that stuff out of my cold NFT hands, because I'll say, you know, that I love that. I just think it's so like funny, and I love that the donation stuff. And like, I'll just mention a couple things. Like, I would say community-wise and artwork. Like, I really like the Great Ape Society. Yeah, that's the NFT that I got tagged right now. You know, they're doing a lot of really good stuff, and they have a really good development team. And I didn't even find out about this until like after I bought 3 NFTs. Did I find out that there's like Discords and you can actually interact with these things. So there's like even in the top.
That's where the use case is, right? They have these communities that they build. So it's
basically like Kickstarters, like, man. Like you're paying for art, and then like you have a development team, and it's a lot of trust too, man, because people get bugged all the time, and like, so I like Top Dog. Like, if you see a community that's giving back to like themselves, or like, you know, donating to something, I'm like real into that. So Top Dog does like each day your dog can do like a dig on the beach, and you have a chance to win something. They're trying to implement this like Fall Olympics, where I assume there's gonna be like, you know, probably very like simple games at first or whatever, where you compete, but you compete with people, and then the, you know, each group, they group the top dogs into 3 different teams, whatever. So I thought that was cool. Yeah, and like the Great Apes, I just really like the artwork and the merchandise. So like for art, I would say, and community, definitely like the Great Ape Society. For like something where like every day you have a chance to win something, and they're like trying to develop to like some games and use cases out of it. I like Top Dogs about that. And then the Cannabis Club, because yeah, I'm not.
I wonder why.
So it's kind of pandering. So, nah, but yeah, like, and then, like, I mean, they have really good artwork, and they're trying to implement like a breeding system where, like, if you lose random cannabis club, you guys can get seeds. Like, they're basically like random Pokemon card generated seeds, and then like they grow into plants, and you can breed them, and then you get like a randomly generated NFT plant that you could sell or like breed. So they have like, you know, you wanna. So, like, don't do what I do and just buy a couple because you like the art. Because I got lucky because I mean it like that. Like this one that I have right now, I love the juxtaposition between like the modern and like the ancient and like the archaic, right? Because it has like the ape, and then it has like the toga, and it has like the gold teeth, like modern headband thing. So I'm just like, yeah, I just snagged it. I think it was like super cool, and then like I got in, I'm like, oh, these guys are making merch and all this stuff. So like the Great Ape Society is like really blowing me away. And they're like, it's like everything's all open. Like there's you can join or whatever, and there's like a general chat, and then there's like a Ape Society chat. There's no discussion in the Ape Society chat. It's all public chat, and like there's actually discourse. Like people come on, they ask questions, and they're like, because people get rugged, so they want to know like, is this legit? And like they just answer questions, and people aren't banned. And like I saw one person banned, and they literally were asking the same question like over and over again, and they answered it, and they're like, yo, feel free like DM us or whatever, like, you know, we're trying to like help, but we feel like we answered. And even like I kind of just spectate, and I was even like, yeah, like, you know, I kind of just been watching this on my lunch break, and it's like, you know, these guys being a dead horse, and you know, everybody wants to have open discourse, but there is like a time. But yeah, man, I just like really love that community, the Great Ape Society. Top Dog seems like they're doing a lot of cool stuff. And then yeah, no, it's like,
well,
sorry.
My next question, then is, shoot, which one is it?
Cannabis Club is pandering, and I love it.
What is something that you have learned then about cryptocurrency or NFTs that you feel should be illegal to know?
Yeah. I really haven't. I went in like thinking that there's some malevolent shit going on. Like you buy an NFT, seriously, like you know.
So you found out that it may not actually be money laundering.
It's actually, I went in thinking it was like some bad shit, and like I told my fiance and like my friends, and like my one cousin is like not the like, you know, he's a DA agent and stuff, so it's like I had access to drop stuff, so I was like ready to like, if I stumbled across like NFTs, like, you know, if it was something like NFTs that allowed you to like buy weed or whatever, I'd be like, who cares, right? Because it's like they're locking people up for life, and then in some states you can go buy it in the corner store, so you know, like F that. But, you know, if I saw something like, you know, prostitution ring or something like that, I was like, or even like something like illicit drugs where it was like hardcore drugs or something, I was like, you know, I'm done. Like, I would out myself as Anon and shut this down. And seriously, and like, I had this discussion with my fiance. She's like, you have goosebumps. I'm like, yeah, it's like, because I'm afraid, you know, because you live your whole life in this world and all you see is like the bad stuff. And then like you're like you see like this stuff and you're like, it doesn't make sense, so you just assume the worst. And then like when you look at CryptoPunks, when it was minted really, you know, we were talking about it back in May when gas was its highest and ETH was the highest. Like, you know, these guys were like, it's the old, you know, it's the prospecting thing. You know, these guys went out there, rolled the dice, and got these cards that were art, and like we were like, all right, well, now we need to get money to develop like apps and stuff behind them. And, you know, a lot of people did get rugged and stuff, and I think I've been blessed with, at least, like, I just, like, picked some cool stuff, and I just ended up in some really good communities, so, yeah, it was funny. It was like, I was in, like, 3 NFTs before I even noticed there was, like, Discords or websites that you could, like, interact. I just thought they were art. But, yeah, there's so much more than art. And, like, the ones that are art, they are art. And not only are they art, though, but, you know, they're art now, and they're like, all right, well, we're trying to get money to make this, like, clothing line and stuff. It's like, why is Supreme so expensive and all that stuff?
Yeah.
And, like, what gives any value to anything? It's, like, people's interest. So they're like, you know,
Well, it's people are giving a fictitious number.
I mean,
That's
Death
the same
Brian
reason
has
why
a board yacht
crypto
club, right?
valued what it is.
Chrissy's is doing this $1 million auction. Like, people are seeing this as fine art, and you guys are lucky because you mine Ethereum and you have interacted with Web3, and normal people like us, you know, since we've interacted with Web3, right? We've seen all these dApps put on Web3. We know what's coming, right? Like, so it's just like, you know, anybody who's probably in Silicon Valley, right? Like, anytime you go to a coffee shop, right? You know, you hear people about coding and stuff. Not all the information's good. Trust me. Like, you know, I've been lucky, you know, knock on wood, but all the communities I've associated with, and you can tell too, because like, once you just follow some Twitters that look like they know what you're doing, and like you basically want to like check the Discord if it's active. If somebody just made art and then bounced, they're just collecting money, and like you're basically getting stuck with a JPEG. But if somebody made art and a Discord, and then they're trying to like develop this into like either merchandising or you know, a game, and like, you know, I mentioned Ethereum. That's a dope game. Pairs with MetaMax. You can get it on OpenSeas. It's like Pokemon. It's in like beta settings right now, but eventually it's going to pair with Decentraland. It's going to be like 3D Pokemon. You know, it's like, you know, this stuff is going to blow up the second sharding comes in, because the barrier of entry is finally going to go down. Like 1559 was supposed to do it, and it did it, but there's just so much volume. Like, it's too little, too late. Like, that was pitched so long ago, and it just moves so fast, right? It's just the way it is. So I don't know. I haven't found anything malicious, and I would love for anybody who have to like let me know, because you know, I've been doing everything. Like, I'm a skeptic. I was like, this is like some crazy shit, and I found nothing but people like giving money back. Like, I just joined one the other day where they're like selling elephant NFTs, and they have a smart contract, and a portion of it goes to like wildlife for humanity. It's like, you know, I've been blown away, because I think everybody's kind of a scumbag. Because I live in the city, so I see the worst of the worst, but I'm like feeling empathetic again, and I'm feeling like I just want to help this community, because I went in like, yo, this is bad, and I'm like coming out like I'm just marred by the world, and I need to just kind of promote what I've seen that's good in this, and anything that's bad. Like, you've seen me on Twitter, like I've added things like, yo, like there was this autism one, I was like, yo, like, how are you proving that you're donating a portion of these like puzzle pieces to autism? Like, my mom's an autism teacher, right? So like, we as a community need to gut check this stuff, right? So, you know, and I don't know, that Twitter disappeared, so, but, you know, I went and gut checked another one, and I was wrong. So, but when you're wrong, you just have to be like, yeah, I'm sorry, like, you know, weird stuff has happened, people are mentioning it, I retweeted it, and, you know, sorry for any FUD I caused, but, you know, it's us, it's like, and it's not the NFT community, it's like the crypto community, and like, I feel like traders just see money, but like, if you actually, like, if you care about the blockchain,
we gotta wrap everything up. You mentioned Twitter, you mentioned the community. Do you want to drop your Twitter handle so people can find you?
NFT 69420. So, I mean,
all right, Jay. Well, we really appreciate that you came on. You have taken over the podcast this go around, which is great. We actually really like when people do that. They just carry the conversation and let it go. But on that note, Amigos out.
Thanks for having me.
This has been the Amigos PC. Make sure to like, subscribe, and review us on all your podcasting platforms. And visit us at amigospc.net. Get our entire library of content and Amigos merch. Till next time, adios.